you take the young lady in?
Good evening, everyone. We're going to have a great show. We're about probably a minute from going live on the air. We're going to talk about the town hall meeting tomorrow at Jackson Cash and Carry on Terry Road. We're going to talk about Jackson Black Pages' annual Black Business Expo. We're going to talk about this tumultuous city council meeting on last Monday and the vote of about $80 million usage of the 1% sales tax fund. We'll have a few guests coming on later. So it's going to be a great show. We got Mr. Mac Epps here, Mr. D-Ray Fall, and it's good. Yeah, we need to have an anniversary show.
We're supposed to be doing it.
Yeah. Next month is the anniversary.
Next month, yeah.
3-year anniversary we're doing the radio.
Okay. We got to get everybody on.
Yeah. We got to have an anniversary party.
Get all
everybody go turn. Everybody's a good time. Get some stripping, everybody. Everybody get some stripping. Yeah.
Shrimp and grits.
Hey, shrimp and grits is the best way to start a conversation. Everybody loves it.
I really like what's in that shrimp.
Who's that? I like that one stuff.
Yeah, I like a lot of stuff.
Yeah, Iron horse is good. Iron horse is good. Next level is the healthiest.
That's true.
Down teasers. When you add catfish. Add catfish.
All three are good. We like all three of them.
Babalu's is good too.
All four.
The Char's is good. You go around trying to
Five.
I just know what means. Can't mess it up.
You can't have too many foodies together because you get a bunch of foodies together.
Right.
That's all we're going to do.
All right, here we go, guys.
Serious face.
Well, I didn't work shirt on. I've been fixing cars today. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Reviving Mississippi Show. I'm your host, Dekeither Stamps. We got our co-host here, Mr. Mac Epps. How you doing today, Mac?
Man, I'm doing good, brother. Doing good. Excited about the weekend. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. I almost called you MacArthur.
Oh, don't do that. And thank you for doing it anyway. Thank you, sir.
And we got our other host here, Mr. D-Ray Fogg. How you doing, Mr. Fogg?
Living well.
Living well with the deep voice.
Yeah.
I tell you what, it feels good to have D-Ray back in the studio.
It feels good to be back.
Yeah.
The trifecta is in effect, baby.
Yeah.
The trifecta.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna start the show off with a few announcements because there are several great events that are taking place over the next couple of days that have the potential of shaking the ground up.
Yes.
Moving some things. First and foremost, on tomorrow, March the 2nd at 6 p.m., we'll be having a town hall meeting at the Jackson Cash and Carry location on Terry Road, the old Kroger's building, to discuss the grocery store reopening that's planned for the 25th and how you can participate. The Purple Shelf program that we introduced to you a few years ago will be instituted inside of the grocery store. And what the Purple Shelf program was, just to refresh any new listeners, it's having a shelf space prepared for local vendors to put their products on inside the grocery store. Just like you have an as seen on TV IO and these kinds of things, you have a shelf space where local entrepreneurs can put their products on, so then we can start to produce, market, and consume products in the same community, thus build wealth. So the money continues to roll all the way over, right? So, and it also lets folks get into the economic of their community. A lot of the places where you want to start businesses, there are already businesses there, but this is a 55,000 square foot facility, so he has enough space to allow local entrepreneurs to move forward and be participating in the economic at the grocery store. So tomorrow, 6 p.m., Old Kroger's building on Terry Road, there will be a town hall meeting to discuss this with Mr. Greg Price, and the grand opening for the Kroger's is March the 25th at 12 p.m. And so we look forward to everyone who would like to participate in these matters, because this is a great opportunity to be involved in wealth creation in your own community so that we can move forward properly. You have some more announcements, man?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, we're talking about economic empowerment for Jackson in the area. The other announcement we have the Jackson Black Pages 3rd Annual Black Business Expo that's coming up this Saturday, March the 4th, at Jackson State Walter Payton Center Recreation Center, from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. It is free to the public. Please go out. Now I think they're probably up to about 110 vendors. Last year they had over 90 vendors at Tougaloo College, and they had over 800 people show up. So it is constantly growing. So if you're in the city and you talk about different businesses, there are a lot of best kept secrets around. So go out to the Walter Payton Center this Saturday around 12 o'clock and go check out a lot of the vendors that you have right here in the Jackson metro area. At the same token, we have the Community Health Fair and Step Show that's going to start at 3 p.m. That's over in Western Plaza at the Metro PCS station. That's standalone kiosk right there. You will have free health screening done by Jackson Cardiology and Heart Plus, which is Dr. Bertram Mock Muhammad. You will also have voter registration block-to-block surveys done by Mississippi Move. You will have a little stepping by the fraternities and auxiliary groups, and you have DJ, free food, and giveaway stuff. Actually, they're going to be giving away 2 Adina Howard concert tickets out there, but you must go to each table.
So if I step, I can...
No. Not if you step.
Oh, okay.
If you go through each table, once you check in, go through each table, and there will be a drawing at the end to give away 2 tickets to Adina Howard concert, and also 2 cell phones will be given away. With no, so 2 cell phones will be given away, clear and free, at the community event this Saturday, starting at 3 p.m., and we will be out there from 3 to 7. So even though there's some overlap with the Jackson Black Business Expo, you still have opportunity to attend both. And for those college students out there, teenagers that might want to get involved in advocacy, there will be a student march up at, I think it's up there at the Multi-Purpose Center in Canton. That will be going on also. So you want to get involved. I think Bernie Sanders is supposed to be here for that event as well. So there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of things going on in the city of Jackson this weekend. So you have a lot of things to check out. We are going to be going more in depth into this as the show goes on.
I think Bernie will be speaking on the Nissan union.
Yeah,
right.
The UAW.
You know, and so one more announcement. On Saturday is also the Great American Cleanup Day.
That is true. That is true.
And all day on Saturday, you have folks cleaning up in different places. Contact our office at 601-960-2052. That's 601-960-2052. If you would like to, if you need some assistance, we can point you in the right direction. We'll be having a dumpster in Ward 4 over at Raines Elementary School. We'll also be done in South Jackson. So we'll be kind of all over the ward and all over the city, actually, doing cleanups and helping folks get together to clean their neighborhoods up. Because it's very important for us to have a nice, clean neighborhood for us to live in. So it's our community and it's our responsibility to make sure our living spaces are safe, are amenable, and represent the best of us when you see them. And so let's start this spring off right with great cleanup and continue to move our communities forward.
I was thinking when our guests have arrived.
Okay.
All right. And we have Mr. Brad Franklin, who representing Jackson Black Pages and talking about the Black Business Expo. Just slide over, D-Ray. Catch that chair right there.
All right, we in.
How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How y'all doing?
We good, man. We're trying to save the world one day at a time. You know, that's what we do.
That's what you do, man. That's the best way to eat an elephant.
All right.
One bite at a time.
All right, so tell us about, Jackson Black Pages, where we started. We'll tell the world about where we started and the sequence of maturation that's happened over the last few years and what's going to be happening on Saturday.
Well, if I want to go back really to the very beginning, the genesis of it all, myself, Fumi Queen, Franklin, Sabir Abdul Haq, George Patterson, who was the founder of the new incarnation of the Jackson Black Pages, were having a discussion in the wake of what was going on with Trayvon Martin and Mike Brown and a lot of the things that were happening, particularly in our urban communities. And we were trying to come up with and figure out ways that we could be most effective. We were talking about the protests that were going on. We were talking about the marches that were going on. And we felt that there had to be a more potent and more effective way really to affect change. We really didn't feel like those things, although useful in their own way, although effective in their own way, we felt that, you know, economic empowerment was the best way for us to combat what was going on in our community. So we said, what is the best way for us to be able to do that in our particular city in the metro area? And we said, let's put an expo together. Let's create a forum where you'd be able to have black businesses from all across the metro area in one central location, and people will be able to come and patronize those businesses. Now, of course, we've seen black expos take place all over the country in a lot of different places, and in some places they are really big, huge events. But we just wanted to start basically and stay with the core essence of what the expo was about, which was about black businesses being able to work with other black businesses and people being able to spend money with black businesses. As we know, of course, and we keep ringing this home, is the fact that, you know, we are an 85% black city, yet we only own about 10% of the wealth, give or take. And we know that right now our struggle is an economic one, and that the best way to do that and the best way to change those dynamics, Councilman Stamps, is to economically empower our people. And that's to make sure that our dollar is spent within our community at least 7 times before it leaves the community. That's what we want to do. We spend a lot of money in the city. We are huge consumers in the city. And I think one of the best ways, and you know this from being on the city council, we talk about infrastructure, we talk about tax base, we talk about what the city of Jackson needs to be able to fix itself and repair its infrastructure. Well, tax base is one of those things. Spending money with these businesses is one of those things that's going to keep that money in our city and help it to work for us inside this city, especially talking about, you know, the 1%, you know, tax that's there. You know, I had an opportunity to watch one of those meetings today online. I think that's a completely other issue that we can talk about in just a second. But watching that meeting brought home the fact of what we've said all along, and the fact that we don't need any other people trying to be stewards of our money, and we don't need any other people trying to tell us what to do with our money. And the only way that we can do that is to show the economic flex, and that is what we're going to be doing. So Saturday, March the 4th, from noon to 5, we're going to be at the Jackson State University Rec Complex with the 3rd annual Jackson Black Business Expo. We've already surpassed our number of vendors that we had for last year. We actually surpassed that number earlier last week. So we're going to have more vendors than we had on last year. We had 1,000 people to walk through our doors, and that's an accurate number because we had a clicker at the front. So we had 1,000 people to walk into Tougaloo last year, and we're expecting that number to increase on this year. It's absolutely free from noon to 5 on Saturday. You can make a family excursion of it. There will be food on site, food vendors. You will be able to bring your kids. We're going to have some bounce houses for the kids. You'll be able to sit there and eat. There'll be music provided by DJ George Chuck while you're in there, and you'll be able to shop with, right now, we're close to 150 vendors that are going to be inside of that gym that you will be able to shop with, who are all black vendors, black businesses within the metro area. So just imagine the power in that room, and just imagine what can happen in that room if you guys come in there and spend money with these black businesses that they can put back into the city.
Let me throw something at you. You may not have heard it just yet. Listeners heard a few minutes ago, and I want you to absorb this and just give us your natural raw reaction.
I don't know if you want the natural raw reaction, but I'm going to give it to you. All right.
All right. So you're familiar with Brother Greg Price, and he's purchased the Kroger's building on Terry Road. He's reopening a new grocery store there. 2.5 years ago, right after we did the first Jackson Black Business Expo, we were sitting around and we came up with an idea called the Purple Shelf Program. I don't know if you remember that, about putting local products on shelf. All right, so now Mr. Price has said, you know, I got 55,000 square feet.
Right.
So I want to do your Purple Shelf program, and I want to give a whole aisle to Jackson entrepreneurs to put their products on, and we work out the details of how that will work out. Talk about, what do you see the possibilities of rolling that money over in a facility like this with this program?
I mean, the possibilities are vast, Councilman Stamps, and that's exactly what we need. A lot of these people just need a location for people to come and pick up their products. So the first thing that you have done in doing this is provide them a central location for them to be able to come and patronize people. We know a lot of times with our black businesses, one of the problems is that we don't have a lot of the resources open to us that a lot of people in the dominant culture have. We don't have storefronts. You know, we're not brick and mortar, but being able to do that is going to be a game changer. I remember when we did the first expo, and you were very instrumental in helping us to get the city involved with that, and thank you for that. There was a gentleman who had a spice company, and I forget what it was, I forget the name of it, and he was going around to different grocery stores in the city of Jackson trying to get his product placed on the shelves in different grocery stores, and he was having trouble doing that. And we know that our black businesses oftentimes have trouble breaking through that glass ceiling. This is an opportunity for them to be able to have a place where people can say, it doesn't matter who you are or who you know or who you're affiliated with, we're going to give you space on the shelf, and all you got to do is drive this energy and drive that business to this location, and people are going to buy that. So I think, you know, that's going to be a huge start. We have to start thinking about now proactive measures, Councilman Stamps, that we can do to actually get people to go out and patronize. You know, black folks can make up a lot of excuses when it comes to spending money with black folks. You know, I can't find you, or you're not open, or you don't have this location, or you're not online, or you don't have PayPal. Well, it's time we start eliminating a lot of those excuses. So if we have a building that you can go to, that's the first thing. And Saturday is the beginning of that. That's your opportunity to have a bunch of captive black vendors inside of a building for you to be able to go and patronize. There's absolutely no excuse for you to be able to do that. You can take your kids. You don't have to worry about leaving your kids at home. You can walk through that building. You don't have to pay a dime to walk into that building, but you need to have a bag with you because you're going to walk out of there with something. You'll be able to feed yourself, get some sustenance. You'll be able to let the kids jump on 2 beautiful space jumps while you are shopping around, and then when you get done, you can pick them up, you can leave, or you can stay and you can just hang out. The energy in that room is so fantastic. It's so electric in that room, man. It is beautiful when black people get together and do what we do. It's just beautiful. And the energy that's going to be in that room, you're just going to want to be a part of it. It's like a celebration. It's a celebration of our economic empowerment. That's what we call it, and that's what it's going to be on Saturday. And again, it's absolutely free. It's from noon to 5. All you got to do is just make plans, get up, get dressed, come down there. Hopefully, Councilman Stamps is going to be there, Max is going to be there, the whole crew here at this radio show is going to be there, and you're going to see a lot of people that you probably hadn't seen in a while, but you're going to hear a lot of people that you hear on this radio station. You're going to see people that you see around town. You're going to see a lot of people who have businesses and do things inside of our community, inside that building, man. They're going to be selling their wares, and it's going to be fantastic.
Okay, so the location is the Walter Payton Center right on Jackson State.
The Rec Complex, also known as the Walter Payton Center, on the campus of Jackson State University. You know, there's plenty of parking there. We're excited about it because people will get to see not only this campus, but they'll get to see this facility, which is a fantastic facility as well. And Jackson State has been very gracious in allowing us to come over there. Tougaloo was gracious as well, and we're going to always thank them for giving us the opportunity to start this off. But as with this thing, it has grown, and we cannot be afraid, and we can't be scared to expand and grow as well. So we're getting to the point where we are in a new facility. We're in a bigger facility, and as we were talking earlier today at the press conference, you know, we hope at some point that we're able to outgrow that and go down to the convention center or the Coliseum or somewhere much bigger, where we can turn this into a statewide thing. So this is the beginning of something that we feel like is going to be really, really great. And like I said, we are gracious to Tougaloo and Jackson State, vanguards in this community for black folks, for giving us the opportunity to do that, to the city of Jackson, to you, Councilman Stamps, for seeing the vision at the very beginning. And we're going to have the 3rd edition of the Jackson Black Pages Directory. If you have the other 2, you need to get the 3rd. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's over 450 black businesses in the metro area inside of that directory. There's almost 500 online. 450 are going to be in that directory. If you have a need for anything in the community, you can find it in that directory. And we've had people to get real referrals from being in that directory.
That's right.
Being in that directory means something. It's absolutely free to get in the directory. It's going to always be free to get in the directory. It's going to always be free to get on the Jackson Black Pages website. We're never going to charge you for that because that is a service that we need in this community. This is not a for-profit venture for us. This is a philanthropic venture for us because we need to give back to this community, because if black folks start spending money with black folks, it's going to be plenty of money to go around for everybody. And at the end of the day, a rising tide floats all boats. So that's what we're trying to do here.
Well, you're almost preaching in here.
Right.
I hear you that.
Well, I appreciate you for coming, brother. As always, you're welcome to come anytime you want to stop
Appreciate
by.
it, man. We look to have you guys out on Saturday. Please come through and show your face. We'll be taking pictures and documenting the day. Make sure you come by. We'll have a copy of the new directory for both of y'all as well, for all three of y'all as well, for y'all to come by, man. So we're looking forward to it and hope to see y'all out there as well.
Thanks a lot, brother.
That new directive don't last long, brother. You have it right
No, it
around
don't.
in the car and you give
No,
it
it
to
don't.
somebody and that's
That's
it.
right. That's right.
Now, what we're talking about, Tougaloo and the Black Business Expo, what we have here is a young sister who's a Tougaloo college student who not only has her own t-shirt line, but also she has her own, I think, magazine that she started. And she's an entrepreneur, and actually she was an entrepreneur when she first got to Tougaloo. So you could talk a little bit, introduce yourself, and tell us what you have today.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dekeither Phillips, and I'm from Monroe, Louisiana.
Monroe, Louisiana. All right.
I'm 19 years old, a sophomore, double major in English with an emphasis in creative writing and mass communication at Tougaloo College. And I have two t-shirt designs that I have. My first t-shirt, which is the one that I have on now, is See It, Write It, Speak It, Believe It, Proverbs 18:16. And I actually got that shirt from the school that I graduated from. They always taught us when God gives you a vision, when you see it, that you write it down and speak over and you just believe it to happen and it will happen. And my second t-shirt, which say Trailblazer, because I am a trailblazer.
Okay.
And my magazine is titled Broken Girls Magazine. It's just an outlet for the youth to put a spotlight on my generation, to expose it to the world, let them know what the young people are doing. A lot of older people are always speaking on my generation, saying that, we are lost and everything, and it really upsets me, and I just want to show them that we are not lost. We are actually talented, and we are actually going somewhere. We just need someone to guide and direct us, because they don't realize that we are their future. And by you all saying that we are lost, who's going to take care of your grandchildren, those precious baby that you all care about?
That's right. When people say things like that about my generation, your generation, I say we only have the world that y'all gave us. That's the only world we have. And our grandchildren and great-grandchildren will only have the world that we give them.
Yes,
So
and that's another
it's
thing.
incumbent on us to provide opportunities for everybody to grow and prosper and not fall into the Willie Lynch syndrome where you pit the young against the old, the light skin against the dark. We got to get beyond that,
Yes,
and start building multi-generational. So how long have you been in business? And what's the contact information for your business website?
She has the magazine, I think.
Yes, I do.
Oh, no, I don't reach nobody's
We
person.
don't do no person.
I'm about to say, no, that's how you get in trouble. Okay. So, how long have you been producing the magazine?
Well, actually, I just had my first month release February. The next one will come out in April. So if there are any business out there would like to get their business advertised in the magazine, you all can email your advertisement to brokengirlsjp@gmail.com. And also I have an Instagram page. You can follow me, Broken Girls JP, on Instagram. And my Facebook name, Dekeither Phillips, JAKYRANNEE.
Slow it down.
Somebody calling in now. I think you might have lost her.
Hold on a second.
sorry.
Hold on a second. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show. What's your question or comment?
Hello?
Hello, you're live on the air, man. What's your question or comment?
Oh, I was just trying to speak to my mom.
I think everybody, if you can call her on a cell phone or something, I think everybody's gone up there.
Okay, all right, thanks.
All right. So tell us a little about how long have you, this is your first issue, where do you see the magazine going in the future?
I actually see it being worldwide, out of the state, in other countries.
The way you have it put together is beautiful. And the layout is beautiful. A lot of thought put into it. So definitely, I would encourage everyone.
Name.
Okay.
Yeah, how did you come up with the name?
I'm actually writing a book called Broken that I'll be published in April. And The best way that I can express myself is through writing. And I know that a lot of people in my generation, they can't just come out and talk to a lot of adults about the things that they go through. And it's a lot of girls, you know, that experience some things that, you know, they just can't openly share just by talking. So, you know, that's how I came up with Broken Girls and the idea of the magazine, just letting it be an outlet that they can vent and just come out and talk about things.
Hey, communication and having outlets to communicate is always important. I know I'm a dad of 3 little girls, and they might not want to tell me everything. So having avenues and where you can communicate, talk about issues, and also get others healing that maybe when we talk to your parents about sometimes. It's very important for young people to have safe places and spaces to dialogue about things that are going on in their lives, so they can grow and mature properly.
Yes, that's
So
very
give
important.
the contact information again, slowly. Now.
Okay.
Slowly. Right, you know.
You all can go and add me on Facebook at Jakirani Phillips, JAKYRANNEE, Phillips, PHILLIPS. Also on Instagram, Broken Girls JP, BROKEN Girls GIRLS JP. And you all can also email me any questions or concern, or if you want to get in contact with me for speaking engagements, brokengirlsjp@gmail.com.
Well, great. I tell you what, I wasn't this focused at 19.
No, not at all.
That's a whole other show.
You are
Right.
definitely doing a great job what you're doing. We wish you all the best. And if ever you want to come back and promote your materials, your products, your services, and the things that you are sharing with the world, feel free to always come back.
Hey, well, I have one more thing I
Go
want
ahead.
to
Uh-oh,
mention.
that's trying to open that door.
Yes. So in the fall at Tulu, I'm starting my own organization called Young Entrepreneurs, where different students on campus, and I'm also going to open it up to different high schools, to where if the students want to start their own business or already have their own business, can come and just join and network. And I want to have different successful business owners coming in, you know, doing little workshops, just working with the young people, mentoring them, showing them, you know, which way to go.
You know, I'm glad you brought that up. One of the most powerful things, one of the most powerful skills that we have not mastered in our community is how to create a job.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? We have mastered, you know, getting jobs and being good workers for a long time, committed,
35, 40
devoted,
years.
35, 40, 50 years, you know. But what we have not done is mastered the art of creating jobs. Just one,
Right.
right? 2, right? So 3 jobs. You know, the art of creating a job. What does that look like? What does it take to create jobs? And focusing on entrepreneurship is how you do that. Focus on rolling your money over inside your own community, or really inside your own family first.
Yes.
Then
Give it back.
you're not just giving it away, but okay, this family member does this, let me purchase that from this family member, and that creates economic, which in turn creates jobs. So focus on entrepreneurship is great. Teaching our young folks how to create jobs is a valuable skill that they can learn and they can pass on to their children, because you cannot pass your job off to your child.
Right.
But you can create some jobs and then pass that creation of that business on to your children and grandchildren, and you can live forever. So thank you for steering our young folks in that direction, because everybody doesn't come from an entrepreneurial family. I believe everybody should, you know, folks, I'm not talking against jobs. Yeah, go get a job, but always have something that you're doing on the side. You know, so you're just not locked into making your job your master.
Right.
Because see, when that's the only way you make money, it's the only way you feed your family, is through that job becomes your master. But if you always have something going on the side, you know, when I was young, my mom taught me to always have 2 bikes, one to ride, one to rent, right? So
Wait, you said bikes?
bikes, yeah,
One to ride,
one to rent.
one to rent.
Exactly.
Okay.
Do you know what you can get to rent a bike for a day?
Of course you know.
Especially if you put the bike together yourself
Oh yeah. Oh
and,
yeah.
and paint it yourself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can take 4 broken bikes and make one working one.
Oh yeah. We've done that plenty of times.
Hey, but that's the mindset
Oh yeah.
that moves the community forward, and it always makes you to a point where you can be self-determining
Self-determination.
We cannot execute self-determination as as a community if we don't have it as an individual.
Yeah.
And so those skill sets, that desire to have for yourself, do for yourself, strive for yourself, builds a culture within your family. That's why I love I praise them all the time. You know, both my sisters are homeowners doing their own thing because everybody works together. And everybody has their own thing going on. So it's good to have that inside a family, but also, inside of your community, having more self-determination is vitally important. So give your email address out again if anybody wants to contact you.
brokengirlsjp@gmail.com.
Great. So definitely, if you are looking for a positive role model for these. Okay, go.
And I also have a project that I just started that I'm working on. So every month I'm going to select one girl and give her a Broken Girls makeover, where I will provide the hair, get some of the students on campus who do makeup to do their makeup, and provide them with one whole outfit.
Really?
So if there's anyone who would like to send donations for that or anything, or would like to know more, make sure you contact me at brokengirlsjp@gmail.com.
Well, I think we can help out with that.
Oh yeah, we can help boost some of that.
And you can also send in nominees on Instagram. Just DM me the picture of the young lady you would like to know.
The age bracket you covering right now.
I'm about to
You
say
talk
that.
about Facebook. You're not gonna get much Instagram. You might get an email.
Right.
So, but I do think now. So, would this be open? When you're talking, I'm thinking about the self-esteem and different things of high school students.
Yes, sir. Helping
So-
them feel beautiful.
So we can find some high school
inside and out.
students that might just need that extra push, especially coming from college young ladies.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, yeah, definitely we can find that, because actually one thing we're gonna talk about later is about us being more in the school system and working with some of the youth. So definitely we can help filter that.
And I actually need some high school students to send in articles. So if there is any writers, whatever topic you want to write about, if you would like to have anything published in the magazine, just contact me.
We had some wonderful students came on last year.
Before Zoo.
They did the poetry. Oh man.
Oh, I need their.
Oh man, they were.
You know what? We'll get you over to Forest Hill,
Right.
because
Yes,
Forest
sir.
Hill needs as much intervention as possible, and
Right.
maybe we could get one of the students over there to be mentored by you, and it'd be
Most
great.
definitely, I'm ready.
Okay, well, great. Well, hang out for the rest of the show,
Yes,
and
sir.
we'll touch base with you in the evening. And take the purse off the floor.
Now you trying to be a broke girl for real? then.
Right.
Don't
My
say
grandma
that.
said, "Don't put your purse on the floor, baby."
My wife, I do that all the time. I go pick up her purse. Okay, wherever she lay it, I go pick it up. Now I ain't going in it, but I pick it up and move it.
Right.
Right. And I do appreciate it, sister. We got to give opportunities for our young folks to move
Right.
forward, to broadcast their talent, skills, and abilities, because we got a lot of wonderful young folks who just need the opportunity to display their talents to the world, display their products to the world, so that they can definitely move on, grow, and prosper. So, Mac, you have another topic?
Yeah. The other topic we're talking about, and we transitioning. We talk about economics. We talked about you, and right now the young lady actually helped us transition from talking about entrepreneurship with the African American people to education and students. And one thing you just brought up made me think of, I was in the community, I spent about 2 hours talking to one of the guys in Brook Hollow, who I'm getting to help organize some older retired educators to help do mentor and with Big Brother, Big Sister. I think that what you talked about earlier about being a change agent, we all have so many different comments about our youth and what they are not doing, and how many of you guys have time to spend with them to teach them something, not talk at them, but just talk to them, take them with you. And we talk about, I think myself was one of that last generation that was around those guys who said, boy, come get in the truck. Whether you were fishing or whatever you were doing, that spending time and just talking to them and learning different things. Why some of us like old stuff. It's because we're around older guys. So we definitely asking those brothers and sisters too who have that time. If you are retired or have a flexible schedule, if you don't have grandkids or anything of your own that you're taking care of, please get involved, be a mentor, be a big brother, big sister, get involved, because the only thing that's going to help our youth is us. We have to do that. And as we started the year off with the 100-man rally, we were working hard to get more men involved in education, advocacy, entrepreneurship, just having strong male presence in the community, period. So tomorrow is one of those days as we transition into talking about reading and education, because reading is the foundation for a lot of the things we need to do to help educate ourselves. You have to know how to read. You have to have a desire to read, have a desire to want to know, and have a desire to want to do better. So tomorrow we will have brothers from Phi Beta Sigma. We will have folks from Revival Mississippi in Ward 4. We will have members from the 100 Men Movement. We will be in schools in JPS and across the county reading to our elementary and middle school students, but I know primarily elementary school. We have a list of elementary schools we are going to be tackling from G.N. Smith to Van Winkle to John Hopkins. We will be there reading, and we even got talked into doing a step for the children tomorrow. So if I'm not walking too well Friday,
what school is,
I'm not telling you what we're stepping at. we actually
you still got it.
Well, I still got it, trying to keep it. So we actually will be stepping tomorrow at John Hopkins tomorrow around 12:45. So we're going to read to the kids, and we're going to actually do a little step, have a little fun with the kids, maybe teach a couple of them how to step. Like I say, that's going to catapult into what we're going to do this weekend also.
Let me catch this call.
Yes, sir.
Hello, caller. Welcome to the show. What's your question or comment?
Indeed, good evening to you, Councilman Stamps and the young brother that is in there doing all that good work. My name is David Archie. And of course, I just want to say thank you, sir, for getting involved and making sure that you're working from the ground up inside the community, working with those kids that need the help the most. I appreciate that as an individual and as an activist and as a civil rights person. I just want to congratulate you on your work and thank you for that. But the reason that I was calling Councilman Stamps, as I told you on last week as we spoke, there will be quite a few people showing up to the city council meeting this coming Tuesday. We're going to be there around 9 o'clock a.m. in the morning concerning these high water bills, and that we're asking that all citizens in the city of Jackson, Ward 1 through Ward 7, to bring your water bills downtown in front of City Hall. And as many as we can get inside of City Hall, we're going inside of City Hall and just simply tell them that we're not going to take it anymore. We're going to speak to the council people as well as the mayor, and we're going to ask for our $90 million back from FEMA. But the biggest of them all is that we have elderly, we have poor people, and we have disabled people that are receiving $300, $400, $500 water bills a month that cannot pay them. They advise them to go to the Metro Center to pay on that water bill and then continue to pay on that water bill until it is paid out, but they are responsible for the payment. That is wrong. We're not going to accept it. We're not going to tolerate it anymore. So we want all citizens, if you hear my voice and you have a water bill, bring it downtown Jackson this coming Tuesday at 9 a.m. in the morning. The council meeting starts at 10. But we want you downtown in front of City Hall at 9 a.m. in the morning with your water bill. It is time to do something about it. Councilman Stamp, if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them very briefly.
Well, I just wanted to say, as always, David, continue to, be an advocate and voice for those who may be shy or voiceless. So thanks for all your hard work you're doing in the community. And me, I've always been an advocate that, opposing the Siemens project and the entire endeavor from the inception. So we'll continue to push against that issue.
Thank you so much. And once again, that is this coming Tuesday at the City Council meeting at 9 a.m. in the morning. We're asking that all citizens show up to this meeting if you have any concern about a high water bill inside of the city of Jackson, if you're a business owner or a property owner or living inside of this city. Thank you so much for taking my call, sir.
Thank you, sir. We got one comment from...
I was going to tell you that.
The contact information for Ms. Phillips, her phone number is 601-720-8355. That's 601-720-8355. She does a myriad of different things, from the Broken Girls magazines. She has a t-shirt line, an author, event planner, and designer. So definitely you can could also book her for speaking engagements to come talk to our young ladies, because a community will never advance farther than the condition of the women. That's why we must focus on building women up and ensuring that they have what's necessary to be prosperous and productive. That's a great segue into one of the more pressing items that we've been pushing against for some time now, is that billboard on 220.
Oh, yeah.
With the sexually explicit advertisement, things like that. On next Tuesday's council meeting agenda, we have been going round and round with legal and several other, but we have an ordinance that we feel is solid enough to ban all, not just the one, all sexually explicit outdoor advertisements in the city of Jackson. And if you believe like we believe that we should not be allowing that type of activity in our community, definitely come support that item. It's my hopes that we disregard the normal procedure, which is to place it on the agenda and then let it go to committee and go through that. It's my hope that we just go ahead and pass it on Tuesday and suspend the rules to make it effective immediately. Because, you know, since that billboard has been put up, every time my daughter's passed by, my youngest one covers her eyes up, and my nephew Bryson, he's like, "There you go, huh? There you go."
He pointed out.
Right, right. You know, so I think it's a disgrace and a dishonor for that kind of activity, and we believe we've got the proper legal footing to in this ordinance to ban all now and in the future. The next steps, once it passes, would be for the executive branch to enforce it by, you know, declaring it a nuisance and getting the owner to take it down, or the city will take it down and charge the owner back on their property taxes for our expenses in taking it down. So that's what we're pushing for on next Tuesday's council agenda. If you believe like we believe that we shouldn't have that kind of activity taking place in our community, please show up to the council meeting, call in, write a letter in support, talk to your council person about how you feel, so that we can get the proper support to move forward in this regard. Let's get this caller. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show. What's your question or comment? Hello, caller. You're live on the air. What's your question or comment? Hello, caller. You're live. No, they hung up. Okay. So, Matthew.
Yeah, I want to, and we just had a brother text us, Brother Warren Clore, was asking where was his school. He felt left out, that we assigned him a school. So we sent that, and we are thankful for brothers out there who are asking what can they do to help, especially when it comes to dealing with our education and being a mentor for our youth, especially our young brothers who are desperately in need of that. So any other brothers out there who want to get involved, who want to be a part of a change agent, please reach out to us. Give us a call here while we're here on the station. And
the calling number is 601-948-95. What was it? 601-948-5950. You can call anytime.
And the second thing we were just talking about, we'll give a shout out to Brother Archie, who did not say it. He was one of those brothers who knew that we needed something in this community and put his money where his mouth is. He's over there on Highway 80, Archie's Chicken and Fish, great food, homegrown brother out there who's been involved and engaged with the community. So we definitely like to go out there and support him. If we want to see more things like that happen. We asked when we're going to bring more businesses to Jackson, but we have to go out and support the quality black businesses that we have, and hold accountable to the quality black businesses that are not quality. Hold them accountable. Don't keep going to the places talking about how bad it is if you're not saying anything to ownership or the management about what they should be doing to make things better. So definitely go out and support that brother Archie right there, out there on Highway 80, Archie Chicken and Fish. Good food, good environment. So
Now
let's
that
support
two-piece,
brother.
that two-piece they have out there with the spaghetti fills me up every time.
So you didn't get the grilled shrimp?
It's so
And
good.
with
I
the
have
spinach?
I order the same thing every time I go.
Oh.
It's gonna get better every time I go.
Well, you know,
we got
preach ahead.
about 12, 13 minutes left to go on the show. We got a brother here that has some vital information to share. I definitely want to give him the space
Yes, sir.
to do so. Welcome to the show, brother, and please share with everyone what
All
you
right.
got going on.
I'm Jeffrey Moore. I'm a Nissan worker, and I'm trying to get everybody to come out and support us for the march this Saturday at 12:30.
Okay.
We're trying to fight for fairness with this election. Really trying to get Nissan to back off with all the intimidation tactics that they've been doing. So, you know, if everybody has free time, could you come out and support us? Because it's not only for the Nissan workers, this is also for the other surrounding businesses as far as the other suppliers and stuff.
Right.
If we can get out our part of the auto industry straightened out for us work, we can get them straightened out too.
You know, a little background, ladies and gentlemen, about this. You and I, through our state government, paid $1.3 billion for Nissan to come here.
Yes.
Then they turn around and give subpar labor practices with our own money, and then devalue the tax base in Canton. They basically rob the school system up there from revenue and resources, and we can't sit idly by and allow for our labor to be manipulated anymore. Our labor, the negotiation of our labor for pay has been a constant fight since slavery. Mississippians pay $1.3 billion for this company to come here and to give subpar jobs and subclass working conditions is not necessary in 2017. If the Nissan plant in Africa can have a union,
Yes.
if the Nissan plant in Tennessee, is it Tennessee?
No, none of the business Nissan plants in America have unions.
Right. The Nissan, South America, that's what it was.
Yeah.
South America.
Mexico.
Mexico. The Nissan plant in Mexico can have a union. The Nissan plant in Mississippi, which is taxpayer funded,
Yes, sir.
can have that kind of access and leverage as well. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show. What's your question or comment? Hold on one second. All right. And so how long have you been working Nissan?
It'll be 15 years in September.
So 15 years of your life has been dedicated to this institution.
Yes.
And, you know, obviously you're making a career.
Yes.
You want retirement.
Yes.
You want to have the long-term benefits that come with investing your life into this business, and having a union stabilizes the long-term benefits, because even after you end your employment, you can still have a degree of membership and representation through the union to secure your retirement benefits once you retire from the institution.
Yes, that's one of the biggest things about it, because we were promised so much in the beginning. When we first started, we were promised that we were going to have a pension, we were going to have insurance after we retired, and Nissan is taking it all from us. And so we're trying to do all we can to sit at the table and try to reconcile all that.
Go ahead.
And
It's for you. Yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, and you know, I wish I want the public to know, isn't it? We're not crying about work up there. It's real things is going on up there as far as when it comes to the stuff that were promised to us in the beginning. You know, when we first got hired, they told us to write down all the stuff that we were going, what they promised us and all that. And so when they start taking stuff back from us, we start questioning, why are y'all taking this? Y'all promised us this and that. And HR's reply was, we didn't tell you all that. Our reply was, well, we wrote this down such and such. Well, you know, the first thing HR says, well, you all wrote it down wrong. And see, that's the thing that gets me the most, because that's why we need a contract to make that concrete, and so they can't go back and change stuff that they've been changing.
That's right. A fair day's work for a fair day's pay. Honor your word.
Yes.
But the part about the Nissan thing is that this is a taxpayer-funded institution.
Exactly.
The taxpayers paid $1.3 billion primarily from the education system, right? And so what we have to do as citizens is say, hold on, now if we prop this institution up with our funds, they must be responsive to our people.
Exactly. You got to remember when Nissan first came here, they promised about 5,000 some jobs. And when they did the hiring process in the beginning, I think we hired up probably about 3,500 to 4,000 some workers. But since 2002, a lot of workers have quit because of injuries or were fired because of injuries or whatever. And when Nissan went back to go hire those workers, they went through the temp style of hiring. And so those jobs don't have, the temp jobs don't have all the stuff that we have for its insurance and all that type of stuff.
So it sounds like, brother, you have been on the street corners yelling this out.
Oh yeah, that's why I lost my voice. And that's one thing about me, I'm gonna get the word out as much as I can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So now, also about these temp jobs don't have the retirement benefits.
Exactly.
And the health benefits that come along with regular career employment.
They don't even get the same amount of vacation, PTO, none of that.
Right. And so we must safeguard these for the future, because what's going to happen in the future, you're going to have a whole lot of people with no retirement.
Exactly. And another thing, it's important for us to get this straightened right now, because you got a lot of people that's working in it. Your family members probably want to come in there and work. So it's like, if we don't get the bridge set right now, the bridge is going to collapse when they try to walk across, trying to get to those jobs that Nissan promised.
And so as we go through this process, stay engaged, ladies and gentlemen. But this is not just about Nissan. This is about you as well, because Mississippi is still a slave state. It still markets its people for low labor and low skilled jobs using its people's money. And it still does these kind of unfair business practices. Mississippi has used 3 pillars of oppression since its inception. First pillar, public education. Second pillar, citizenship, the right to vote, who gets to vote. Third pillar, labor. Labor was the whole backbone of the slave trade. And I say Mississippi is still a slave state because the practices have just evolved into the state that we're in right now. So definitely stay engaged in these issues, because if we can get a success at the Nissan plant, we can get a success at the chicken plant, we can get success somewhere else, but it takes staying engaged. Let's catch this next caller. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show. What's your question or comment?
How you doing, Councilman Stamps?
Hey, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Councilman, I listened to your show, and man, I want to say that I have literally heard you go on this show through the perils of economic development here in Jackson, particularly in the black community. And you talked about educating our children, and you've also talked about now the environment that we black Americans have for at work. And man, I can truly tell that you really care about people. And man, I mean, it's just very warming to hear and watch out, and just for you to show it, you know, not just talk it, for you to show how much you truly represent the people that you represent, and just care about people. So man, you just keep doing what you're doing, and I tell you that you just keep doing what you're doing. You're a great treasure to the community.
Well, we appreciate you, brother, and thanks for all the hard work and diligence.
Okay, my man.
And you know, like I tell folks all the time, I don't do a lot of work. Mac and Karen and DeRay, and they do all the work. I just talk a lot. You know, they put all this stuff together. You know, so I definitely can't take the credit for it. It's by the grace of God that we even sitting here, and it's through the hard work of these other folks sitting around the table to make all this stuff happen. You know, so we just thank God for giving us the opportunity, and we look forward to continuing to do it if the people let us. We got some final words, but we got about 3 minutes left to go on the show.
Like I said, the march is Saturday at 12:30, and we would like for the general public to come out and support us. And, you know, Nissan workers, I really need you there with me. I need you there, you know, all the times you all come up to me and tell me about your gripes and stuff about what's going on in the plant, here's your time to come out and support yourself. This is the time to show the general public what's going on, that you really care about your job here. Need you there Saturday.
Okay, this is last caller. Hello, caller. What's your question or comment?
Yeah, you got this guy on here, but I ain't never heard you have nobody on this show that anti-union.
You what now?
Because ask this guy where he was working at before he came to these guys. He probably working at a chicken plant for $8 an hour.
That's a.
$8 an hour. He got a problem with it. These are 80% black, but they hire most of the black guys. You
Okay.
can see they're 80% white, 20% black. And then you get margin because you ain't got enough black people working out there. Now you're margin because you ain't there. But most people out there, ain't nobody out there. All the plants around these trying to make them way less money. I don't see the union over there. There's a plant right next door to the union. You are all press. They don't make what these going to make. I don't see no union margin now. They ain't got about a bunch of bull.
Okay, brother. Thanks a
Now,
lot.
go back to the chicken plant and make $8 an hour and then tell the union to come to the chicken plant.
Okay. All right, you got another hand?
They actually work on trying to get in the unit at the chicken place.
Hello, caller. What's your question or comment?
Just to let the brother know that we over here in Lewin, Mississippi, from Jackson County, we will be coming to the march on Saturday.
All
Thanks a
right.
lot. Thanks a lot.
Sam,
Yes, sir.
we look for you on Monday.
That's right. We'll be there on Monday.
Monday evening, 6 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
Lewin, Mississippi.
We'll be in Jasper County.
Right out of Recreation Center.
We'll be there,
We're in the
brother.
heart of town. You can't miss it.
Yes, sir.
Okay? God bless you.
God bless, brother. Oh, we got one more? Oh, Henry. All right, send it on through, man. This is the last call. It didn't, send it again.
It didn't go through in.
Okay. All right, so go ahead, our announcements one
All
more
right,
time.
announcements, make sure you get a chance to get out. If you hit the march, go by the Jackson Black Business Expo at the Walter Payton Center at Jackson State, starting at 12 p.m. from 5 p.m. All the black businesses, over 150 vendors there. Make sure you go and patronize that. Also, we have the Community Health Fair and Step Show at Metro PCS in Western Plaza, right across the street from Provine, from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Free blood pressure checks, free step show, free food. They're going to be giving away free phones for those who win. Also, you might get a chance to win free Adina Howard tickets, Councilman. So, you might come out to that and come see that. That will be March 17th at the Next Level. Another black-owned business in the heart of Jackson, and they're constantly bringing great acts like this, Miss Adina Howard. Also, tomorrow, we will have brothers out in the community reading at different schools from Jen Smith, Van Winkle, John Hopkins. So if any brothers out there would like to volunteer, please give the call to the office 960-2052.
All right, and just to wrap all this up, labor rights are important. Nissan plant has, 80% black folks working there, but Plantation had 100% black folks working there. And, it still wasn't necessarily equitable or fair. When you calculate that the money put in came from public schools, which 99% of black folks in the state go to public schools. So the children are losing so they get a job. So that was the leverage point to allow this activity to happen. And at the chicken plant, which chicken plant did have a union, because the workers there get all kinds of hellacious activity: arms severed, legs severed, fired, no workman's comp, and all those kinds of things. So those issues are properly addressed through the apparatus called a union. So we're going to continue to fight for labor rights in this state, because, as I always say and will say, until the practices and policies of Mississippi changes, Mississippi is still a slave state. Still markets its labor for profit, for private gain. It still markets and dumbs down its people through a restricted education system, and then it basically pimps the people and takes their money and puts it in the hands of corporations. That's why all your services are getting cut this year, because it gave corporations these big tax breaks last year.
Correct.
Huge tax breaks last year. Now they're cutting down human services area. They're cutting down mental health. They're cutting hospitals. They're cutting all this stuff, because they want to continue the same methodology, the same thought process, and they oppressed everybody. There were 3 kinds of slaves on the plantation. You had, well, really 4. You had the field slave, the house slave. You had the overseer. He couldn't leave the plantation either. He didn't have any education. He only had 2 teeth. He didn't have health care. And you had white women. And so all of them, and white women couldn't vote or own property back then either.
Exactly.
You know, so this thing is for us all, black and white, Democrat and Republican. This is an ideology that must be moved forward. And as every week we say, ladies and gentlemen, all black folks ain't bad and all white folks not good, but you got to figure out who you're going to deal with to rebuild your community and your family. I love you, Jackson. I love you, Mississippi. Handyman, take us out of here. Good job, Gary.
Make sure we introduce you to Mr. Evans as you walk out. All right, get out of here.